All my favorite songs are slow and sad. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Welcome to the Sad Song Queens podcast, where we dive deep into the songs that make us cry. I'm Laura Webb.
And I'm Lindsay Wolfington. Today, we are talking with Leah Nobel about her song, Crying in the Hardware Store.
Leah Nobel is a multi-dimensional artist and writer whose musical style often blends folk, pop, and alternative together, always with a heavy focus on lyrics. We were lucky to work with Leah when we featured her original song, Beginning, Middle, End, in the final film of To All the Boys trilogy, which became the #1 trending song on US Shazam charts and #2 globally. The song was nominated for Best Musical Moment at MTV's Movie and TV Awards. To date, it has amassed over 75 million streams.
You've also heard her music on Virgin River and Sullivan's Crossing because she's so good and we just eat her up on those shows. While most of her music falls in the pop singer-songwriter category, in 2016, Leah also found success stretching her musical style by releasing music under two alter egos, the dark, beat-centric Hale and the sassy, comedic pseudonym Lil Cheesecake. Both have earned her sync success in ad campaigns for Apple, Starbucks, and Marshalls, as well as various TV shows and films. Our film, Jingle Bell Heist, featured quite a few Lil Cheesecake holiday tunes.
Today, we will be talking to Leah about her song, Crying in the Hardware Store, from her most recent album, Mother Tongue.
So grab those tissues and let's get into it, because we all need a good cry.
And now, Crying in the Hardware Store by Leah Nobel.
Hi, honey. Just calling, checking to make sure that you're okay. Love you, love you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Got the news at 2:15. God, I hope you left in a limousine. 'Cause you never asked for fancy things, and your last ride out should be a dream. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, so I drive around and look for you. You always love the garden patch, flowers, earth, and tidy grass. And it's a sharp right to a big box lot, and it's not right, but it's all I got. I need a bag of dirt and a garden plot. Now I'm crying in the hardware store. Everybody's staring, but I don't care. Have you ever lost someone before? You'd be crying in the hardware store too. Still don't know what I believe, and it makes it hard to find some peace. Are you listening from the other side? Do we even realize when we've died? And it's a sharp right to a big box lot, and it's not right, but it's all I got. I need some marigolds and a flower heart. Now I'm crying in the hardware store. Everybody's staring, but I don't care. Have you ever lost someone before? You'd be crying in the hardware store too.
She's mine. You win. You definitely win.
Now I'm crying in the hardware store. Everybody's staring, but I don't care. Have you ever lost someone before? You'd be crying in a hardware way too.
Welcome, Leah.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to see you both.
So
I
good to
know.
see you.
It's been a few years, but like you feel like an old friend.
I know. I feel the same. I'm so grateful for both of you. You have given me so many opportunities in my career. So thank you.
Well, it's easy to do because we like you as a person and your music.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
thank you.
You know how to exercise all the different facets of what we need in the sync world. So we love all three sides of Leah Nobel.
Yeah.
My multiple personality
We love it.
situation.
It's such a beautiful way. So we're, talking about the fact that there's Leah Nobel's music, which we just heard, which is like more in the pop singer-songwriter vein. And then
Sure.
Hayel.
Hail.
It's technically hail.
Okay.
But
I thought
I
we did the
mispronounced
opposite.
it. No.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
it's just Leah backwards. You knew that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I don't remember that. That's so
She forgot.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And then
Yeah.
the sassy little cheesecake,
Of
or as I
course.
like to call her, little cheesesteak.
Cheesesteak.
Yes, we had a fail moment when we met Leah in person at the same time, which we'll get into on when we were recording a song for To All the Boys. But we met you in person at this, or we were working on notes with Quinn.
Yeah.
And we messed up all three names, and I think you looked at us like, these ladies are crazy.
No, not at all. I feel like everyone messes up.
Oh,
It's all good.
Well, one of the things we like to do is give you our theories about this beautiful song we just heard.
Yeah.
So, Lindsay, you want to start?
I think you should start. I think this song, this was Laura's pick. She was like, we have to talk about this one. And I think it means something to you. So, Laura, tell us what you thought.
Yeah, I mean, it seems about your grandmother who sounded lovely. And when you start with the voicemail, there's just so much warmth in her voice. And I love that you had that recording. And it just immediately makes us feel the warmth and love. It just comes across how much she loved you. And then obviously when you sing how much you loved her. I mean, I have questions or some comments about each line, which we can get into. But I just kind of want to ask about certain things. But I mean, I think it's about your
I'm
grandmother,
open to.
which I'm sorry for your loss. So
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
yeah.
So are we on the right path that your grandmother passed away and you found out while shopping in a hardware store?
So this song is about a woman in my life named Judy, who is a grandmother figure of mine, but we are not actually biologically related.
Okay.
So my first childhood home, she was our neighbor across the street, and she sort of adopted our family, and she helped raise me. She was a huge part of my life. I spent a lot of time with her. I actually have a picture of her in my studio, so
Can we see Judy?
yes, I don't know if you can see. That's me and Judy. I'm probably like 5 or 4 or 5.
Oh, look, she is.
But
Look at even that picture is so tender, and she's just loving
yeah,
hugging you.
She is the best, like one of the best people I've ever known. She was just incredibly warm and kind and generous and selfless and fun, and she just had the best attitude about life. And she passed away in 2021, like during COVID, essentially. And I didn't find out that she died when I was at the hardware store, but I went to the hardware store right afterwards because when you get like the worst news and you feel sort of paralyzed and you're like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I have to go somewhere. So I just like drove around, and I was living, in the country in Tennessee at the time and was planting a garden. So I went to get a bunch of garden supplies because that's something that she really loved. So, Yeah, it's my ode to Judy. And it was very cathartic to write. So, yeah.
Did you come home and write it right after driving around and all that?
No, I don't think so. I don't really remember like how the song was birthed. I think I was just like writing for this personal project I was working on, and this song is one that I did the production myself. It was a total like solo endeavor, which is how I began songwriting. Like I didn't really like come up in collaboration culture. Like my first projects were all things that I did by myself, and sometimes when something is really tender or sensitive, I don't really want to share it with someone else. So yeah, that's kind of how that was born.
That's so I love that it was not a relation by blood.
Yeah.
How amazing to have people who care about you who are not in your family, you know?
Totally. And she had that effect on so many other people. Like, something that was really tragic about the timing of her passing was like, because it was during COVID, she didn't get the funeral she deserved. And talking about this thing of chosen family, it is so beautiful and wonderful. But when something happens to that person, you're reminded that you don't have rights because you're not a blood relative. Right. And so I'm close with her biological granddaughter, and she was there when she passed away, and I sent her all these voice memos, and we were on FaceTime and all sorts of, like, I felt connected to her, but not to the degree that I wanted to be. And so that's the kind of complication with chosen family, you know. It's like there's still rules in our the way our society works. So
and that you didn't necessarily have a say in how the funeral would happen, you know, because it's just not our right. And that's hard.
Yeah, I mentioned her funeral because there were several people who spoke at her funeral that were also, like, she had also adopted, sort of, and it reminded me, like, that she just had such an enormous impact on people, and she did that for so many people, so it was really special.
Were you able to go to the funeral?
I wasn't.
Oh.
I wasn't. It was complicated because my sister was about to have a baby, and my mom and I were supposed to be with my sister right afterwards, and she decided because of COVID that she didn't feel comfortable going to the funeral, and that was like another just awful thing. I could never imagine in a million years that I'd be watching her funeral over like a live stream.
Right. Yeah.
It was horrible, and it was really upsetting, and you know, in hindsight I was like, maybe there was a way that I could have finagled that, but also her funeral, like I said, she didn't have the funeral that she deserved, and I didn't feel like the person who was leading her funeral knew anything about her, and so part of me was like, I think I would have been extra upset if I was there in person. I was already devastated, but it was that time was so complicated. I don't miss those days. Yeah,
it's hard. And during COVID, I think a lot of people who lost people, you know, couldn't be in the room with them.
I know.
I was on Zoom for some funerals. I was on Zoom for a wedding, and you're like, this is so weird. I mean, you know, we made do with what we could at the time, but
but it wasn't a placeholder.
No.
So,
well, maybe would your family ever just do something to honor Judy? Or
Yes, we actually did. So when we were with my sister and her new baby, we had like our own ceremony for her, and we all wrote down like favorite memories of her, and so we didn't put each other on the spot. We put them in like a fishbowl, and everyone pulled someone else's and read it, which was really sweet. And we planted flowers in my sister's backyard, and so that was the sort of catharsis I think we all needed, and it felt really good to do that, to honor her, because she was just the very best.
I love the line about living in the leaving, not living, leaving in the limousine because you never asked for anything.
Yes,
And-
and she was so low maintenance. Yeah.
And I get like just what a
Yeah.
beautiful way, like that line is tells you everything. I mean, obviously there's not, I can't
Yes.
know everything, but it so paints such a vivid picture of her,
Yeah.
of just that, and just with her knowing the context of her voice, and yeah, you just hear, and then at the end too of like that you're all competing for the sweetheart.
Yes. So I think that was actually pulled from a video, and I think that was one of the first times James, my husband, met her. And Judy was like, she's my sweetheart, or she says something like that, and it was just like so sweet. And yeah, when she passed away, so one of the things that she did was that she shopped for gifts for people like all year. So if she saw something that she thought someone would like, she would save it for Christmas. And when she passed away, her granddaughter like sent us a bunch of things that she had bought for us, and she had like started a baby thing for my sister and all this stuff. So yeah, it was just...
What a lovely gift to leave behind. Like she was thinking about you when you didn't know it.
I know. Yes. And I think the first voicemail that I like put in there, that was like when COVID began. Yeah. So I know. It was just wild.
I wish I was trying to find like the actual statistics, but I went to this. We used to have this thing in LA, and I think it was in a couple of their cities, called Pop-Up Magazine, and they would do these speaker series, kind of like a salon, and these people would talk on all different subjects, all different things. But there was this writer and director, Cord Jefferson, who did that movie American Fiction, which was great. But years before that, he had done this pop-up, and he talks about, like, he starts with this voicemail of his mom, and it's just sort of one of those, like, that car commercial where they're like just kind of talking and ambling along, and you're like, okay, Mom, where are you going with this? Or whoever in your family, right? And then it does this hard turn because he plays a couple, and then he does this hard turn that his mother has since passed, and then that's all that he has of her, right? And immediately you're just like, oh. But then he goes into the science of it, that like hearing someone's voice, there was some study, and I wish I could cite it specifically. If I find it, I'll link it in the show page notes. But basically they did this study with young teenage girls specifically, who went to go take a test right before, if they talked to their mom or had a voicemail versus just a text, it immediately, there was something in them that calmed them.
Yeah.
And it
their
led them
nervous
to
system.
like less anxiety. And I think they even performed better on the tests versus, a text is nice, and you take what you can, right? But I thought that was so fascinating. And I hadn't ever, I guess, thought in that context, but then like hearing the texture and the warmth of Judy is, you can just, and hearing that their love for you, like that just came across in that voicemail for sure. And the way that you sing back to her. So
Thank you.
Yeah, that's like hitting me this morning. So Maggie left, my daughter, my almost 16-year-old, left for a school camping trip, which of course she was a little bit nervous for, but it's 5 days. So, I'm like so excited for her to do that kind of thing. But, she's like, I'm going to miss you. Like, it's so, she didn't really want to leave. I mean, she was fine. She was ready to go. But last night, she didn't want to go to sleep because she knew when she woke up, she'd be like, okay, I'm out. I'm ready to go. And this is the last night in my bed for a little bit,
Totally.
But I was trying to be like the encouraging voice in the back of her head, but I'm sure tonight I'll be like, where is Maggie?
I know.
Before we move on from the, I wanted to just touch back to the limousine line for a little bit, because I feel like that, like, Leah, you always kind of have a little bit of sense of humor in these sensitive songs. And I feel like that line just encapsulates that part of you that's like, you're obviously sad, but you're like, I hope you left in a limousine, you know?
Yeah.
Go girl.
You deserve it.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, thanks for pointing that out.
And when about crying in the hardware store, everyone looking at you, public crying
Yes.
needs to just be normalized because it happens to all of us. We're gonna do it at some point. During when my dad was his long stretch of being ill, and there were different stages. But I just remember a friend of mine named Kim and I were laughed because like I think every time we got together, her dad was not doing well either, and we would just be crying at the restaurant.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's a good point. And I think I was just thinking about sad songs in general. You know, my dad had a really rough childhood, and my dad only likes listening to happy music. He cannot handle sad music. And the same, I think there's a lot of people too who are just really uncomfortable with that kind of expression sort of from anyone. Not just talking about like listening to sad music, just to witness other people's emotions. So I agree. I think that should be normalized. And I did cry in the hardware store.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. I cried everywhere.
Yeah,
So,
and sometimes people are really amazing, you know? Like sometimes
yeah.
they're like maybe you need that kindness from someone, or they're just
Yeah.
polite and let you feel your feelings. And yeah,
Totally. Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of freedom in that too. I mean, I can't remember a specific time, but I am absolutely positive I've had an experience in a store where I'm just crying, and it's like embarrassing at first.
Yeah.
And then once you're in it, you're like, I'm just getting through this. I am just getting it out. Like I'm a wreck and I'm embracing it.
Yes, totally. And sometimes it's like there's nothing you can do about it anyway. So you might as well
Totally.
just accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's something freeing about that. Like once you get over that initial hump of like, this is embarrassing. You're like, well,
Yeah,
I'm just a mess right now. So
yeah.
let's just keep
Let's
on
just
moving.
lean into it.
totally.
Leah, I also love how you talk about looking for her in
Yeah.
the things she loved, or in the everyday things, like what was it, the garden or certain flowers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think another thing that I address in the song is that I don't have any like concrete religious beliefs. And her death was, I've lost people in my life, but as an adult, she, like her, losing her was one of the first times, like as an adult, I lost someone that important to me. And I felt really jealous actually of people who see the world in a very black and white way, or have, you know, comfort in their convictions, because while I consider myself to be like a spiritual person, I have a lot of questions. And I think when she died, it brought all that to the surface. I'm like, where is she? Like, what happens to us? And I had actually read this book. I wish I have it downstairs, but it's called Some. I can't remember who it's by, but it's a collection of short stories, all by the same person, with these hypotheses sort of what happens when we die. And I had read that sort of right before she passed away. And yeah, it was difficult, and it made me feel very unsettled, I guess. But I also just can accept that in my worldview, that's just what life is. Life is unsettled. Life is a bunch of questions, and I respect anyone who has different beliefs, obviously. But yeah, it just kind of led me to a lot of searching, I guess. I was looking for a lot of signs from her and things like that.
Did you get any?
I don't feel so. I have this thing in my life with dimes.
Okay.
When I find a dime, I consider it to be like a sign from the universe. I think I did find a dime shortly after she passed away, which brought me comfort. But I don't feel like I got a concrete sign from her. I wanted one desperately, but it's okay. What did give me comfort is that Judy had an exceptionally healthy and grounded relationship with death. And she was not afraid of it. In fact, she was kind of like a death doula for many people in her life. Like, when I was a child, I remember several, like, very old people coming to live with her. She was a former nurse, by the way. But, like, and she kind of, like, nursed them through hospice. And, like, she just had a very different viewpoint and was very, like, accepting of it. And I just felt like she had sort of gotten to the point in her own health journey where she was like, I don't want to live like this. And she probably could have lived longer, but she decided she didn't want to. And so that honestly brought me the most comfort. I was like, she wasn't afraid. She, and it was inspiring because hopefully I become evolved enough someday to share some of those traits that she had. But I was like, she's okay. I know wherever she is, she's okay.
Yeah, I think culturally we have such a death phobic
Definitely.
like views. And I remember my grandmother was like, she hit 90 and she's like, oh, I'm done.
Totally.
And she lived to 97, so she would at any point was like, oh yeah, I'm done. So we ultimately, yes, we're sad, but also like, yeah, that's what she wanted, right?
That I do think this is what she wanted. I probably don't think she would have picked it for it to play out exactly how it did, but I was like, that gave me something to hang on to. But
do you have any beliefs now about death or Judy or where she is? Or
I still feel like I have a lot of questions and I have some hypotheses. But I do like, there's another song that came out on a project before this, called We Never Really Leave Each Other, that I had done. And that's kind of my hypotheses at the moment. Like, our physical bodies might not be here, but like our spirits are here. Yeah. So I think when you're an agnostic, sort of, like, I just have made the decision, like, it's more fun to believe those things. Like, it bring to have questions and curiosity, and rather than to believe in some sort of final answer that there's nothing.
Well, there is a wonderful book called Signs by Laura Lynn Jackson, and a friend gifted it to me who had lost her mom during COVID. But and she gave it to me when my dad passed, and it is such a beautiful way of thinking. It hurts no one, and I highly recommend it if you.
I'm gonna write that down.
It's such a beautiful book. It brought me a lot of comfort.
Good.
And it hurts no one, and you can believe in as little or not, but it
totally,
I like finding the signs, and then even just like, it sort of attunes you into more, I think, sort of. It made me think of and so, I mean, I think my dad, regardless, was going to always send me signs, but I'm pretty attuned to it, and I get them pretty regularly. Like, just last week even, I was telling Lindsay about one.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so, and Judy's there regardless, so, whether you get the sign or not, she's there, like, propping you up.
And I dream about her quite a bit. And she's extremely realistic in my dreams. Like, I have some weird dreams, but these dreams aren't weird. Like, she feels so real to me.
Is she bringing you messages of comfort or things you need to hear?
That's a good question. I feel like I don't document those dreams well enough to answer that sufficiently, but she's there in her form, and that in itself, like, brings me comfort. Like, she's not some sort of abstract version of herself. I write in, like, two very different types of ways, and one of them is this more general way that leaves room for the audience to decide what it means to them. And then, like, I was thrilled that you picked this song because it's deeply personal, and but and it but it's still, it allows people to like put their own meaning behind it. But those types of songs that I write don't really end up getting much exposure, I feel like. They're found by fans that are, you know, digging into the catalog rather than being featured in spaces, if that makes sense. So yeah, I was glad that you picked that because it's something that means more to me for sure.
Yeah. Well, good. So should we talk a little bit about our To All the Boys experience?
Sure.
Yeah. So we've definitely had already used your music before, and we're very aware of you. And Lindsay actually found the beginning, middle, and end.
Well, we reached out to Big Yellow Dog which is your publisher. We reached out to your
Yes.
publisher for songs that were about love. We knew we needed to find Laura Jean and Peter's song for the third movie. So we were like, what is that? And so we like sent what we needed out to people. And one day, beginning, middle, end made its way into our mailbox. And email inbox. I remember.
That would be cute if it came as
I
a
know.
letter.
Yes.
Old-fashioned snail mail.
Yeah.
I know, right? On a cassette.
Yeah.
I remember playing it, and May, who was my coordinator at the time, who's now back, she like left and had 2 different gigs and is now back helping us with the podcast. But she also remembers like me playing it in my office, and I was like, what? Like beginning, middle, end? It's the third movie.
Yeah.
It's like, it's totally in the vibes of the movie, and
And the books were a trilogy.
right, and the
Yeah.
trilogy of the books, and like the whole, you know, just applying the lyrics applied to a relationship so well. And yeah, so what do you remember about writing beginning, middle, end?
Yeah, well, I think I told y'all this, but that was actually the first time I had ever met Quinn. We were just kind of put together like on a blind write. And we really, what's funny is that I feel like, I don't know if Quinn would say the same thing, but I feel like we really meshed as people. Like we talked a lot about just life and philosophy and all sorts of stuff during that session. But we didn't really collaborate after that. I think we maybe did one more thing, and then our lives kind of pulled us in different directions. But yeah, so what I remember most about that day was just meeting him and like the conversations that we had that were not in relation to that song. I think that I don't know if I had a brief then. I think I maybe did have some sort of brief, but it was super vague. And I don't know if it was your brief or someone else's. But yeah, I remember writing that song and not really thinking anything of it.
So
like,
funny.
I write so much music.
Okay.
Like, so my relationship with songs since like I started like having this insane output every year has changed. And I'm sure like your relationship with songs has changed probably when this became your job and it wasn't like just that you were listening to music recreationally anymore. It was like you were listening to music with a different intention, right? So yeah, I remember liking it, but I don't remember thinking that much of it. I remember somebody thought it was cheesy. I don't know if that was Alex or Nicole. Like they had said something to me. They're like, oh, maybe it's a little too cheesy. And I was like, oh, well, okay, you know. Yeah. But it was really, that whole experience was very serendipitous, and it was such a gift to that song to give it so much context and meaning. And still to this day, like it means so much to so many people, and so many people have such great affection for those films and those characters. And it's cool that it gets that sort of like perennial life because it has this association with, you know, something that had a cultural impact on a lot of people, I think.
Well, and it was a whole storyline in the third
Exactly.
film. Like
Yeah.
they were working on finding their song.
Yeah.
Oasis, it didn't fit, you know. And
Yeah, and it became like a character and it gave it like this whole new life. And so, yeah, I still have people sending me videos of their proposals with that song playing in the background or their first wedding dance. It just, yeah, it's really lived an exceptional life. So I'll always be very grateful for that experience, and to you guys for choosing it.
well, you made it. It was beautiful.
Oh.
We just heard its talent, we heard its greatness.
Yeah.
And I was saying when you were
Yes.
saying like that, or it's too cheesy. I think maybe because it is earnest, and some people
Totally.
will poo-poo earnestness, but I mean, we
Yes.
love earnestness, so
Yeah, and I think too it's like the same with what we were talking about before, which is like some people don't like sad songs because it brings up something within them, and some people don't like earnest love songs because it brings up something within them. So yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's funny. Everyone has a different opinion, and I'm glad that it found like the right home that really gave it some shine. So
Well,
yeah.
we're grateful for it too, because when we got that script, for anyone who hasn't seen the movie, this couple has been together for
Yeah.
like a year, you know, their senior year. This is the third movie we're seeing them, and it's a plot point that they're looking for what is their song.
Right.
And he pitches something old, and she's kind of looking for something new, and she goes to this
Yeah.
party at NYU, and a band is playing the song. And so a band needed to play the song, and then there was also a moment where they bring it back and have a slow dance to it. And the original version, like the production on your original track, is kind of the most popular one. It's the one we use in the end credits.
Yeah.
It has this like pop warm feel, but we made 3 different versions of the songs because I think we were like, do you want to come and perform on this rooftop and be the first time we hear it? And you were like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So we had this band, the Greeting Committee, cover it. And then we created, this is why we flew to Nashville and got to hang out with you and
Yeah.
Quinn, is because we were creating the slow dance version of it and wanted it. You know, Laura and I love these like lush songs that
Yeah.
live in these teen movies for years and years to
I
come.
know.
So the fact that you could also do 3 different things with it, because the Greeting Committee kind of brought this like alt indie rock
Yeah.
style, you know, bend to it.
yeah.
But we, you know, as music supervisors, we're like, oh my God, like this is a tall order. We have to be able to do so many things with this song.
I know.
You know, so we were just like
Yeah.
grateful for it to be. And I think it was, you know, ultimately it came down to this song or like a more well-known song.
Yes.
And we were, you know, Laura and I's sensibilities like, let's pick the new song. It'll be like the thing that's tied to our film forever, instead of something that maybe will be tied to other things along the way.
Totally. Yeah.
And there was a moment where they leaned the other way, and
Of
then
course.
the producers and director came around and were like,
Yeah.
no, let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm grateful.
I know, because sometimes with known songs, people bring in which fine, they bring in their own life
Yeah.
expectancy, or like, no, I got broken up to with that song, or just like, and it'll
Yeah.
take you out of the movie where it's like, this song, no, I don't know, no, the song hadn't been out, right? Exactly. So no one had
Yeah.
heard it either, so it was like,
Yeah.
this is their song, yeah. And I know we were worried for a minute with like Greeting Committee, because we're like, what if people think that it's a Greeting Committee song, but it's all now it's out, and it's Leah's, and yes,
good.
But Greeting Committee did a great cover of it. So
They did.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
yeah,
And it had a big reaction. Like it was #1 on Shazam. And
Yeah.
right?
I mean, for me, I had been making music very much under the radar for a long time. It was insane.
What was that? Yeah. What was that like?
What was that experience like?
Yeah. Going from kind of being, I don't know. Do you feel like
Yeah.
it made you known?
I feel like it made me known for a moment. I think that that experience was very interesting because once again, like going back to COVID times, that was what, February of 2021?
2021. You're absolutely
Yes.
correct.
And
we had done this already.
And
Yeah.
because they shot them close together too. They filmed them together, didn't they, Lindsay?
Honestly, don't remember.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
Yeah, our brains are screwed.
I know. I'm like, oh man. But I was just looking on
So you're right.
Spotify, and 68.8 million just on Spotify.
Yes.
Wowza.
So what was crazy about that experience partially was the timing of when it occurred, because what happened was it felt like my life had stayed exactly the same in most cases until I picked up my phone. And it was like this whole other universe existed within my phone. And I remember I was doing all this like press and PR for it, and I was just in my living room in Tennessee, and I'm talking to people in the Philippines and podcasts and, you know, doing all sorts of stuff with the other folks on the soundtrack. And it was really weird. Like, it was a hard thing to wrap my brain around. And I remember like someone saying like, oh, if this was occurring at a different time, like you'd be doing this, this, and this, and we'd have you here. And but everything was kind of, you know, operating in a different way. So yeah, it was very odd. I remember when it came out at midnight, and when I woke up in the morning, it had already had 1 million streams, which was insane.
Wow.
And I think my, like, at the time, maybe my Spotify listeners were like 50,000. And within 2 days, it was 3 million.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Like, that's nuts, right? But it is interesting because while I do think out of context, that song still really resonates with people, but it's very much tied to the film, obviously, and people's emotional relationship with the film and with these characters. And so there were all these interesting things that happened, which was like, in some cases, people knew the song, but they had no idea who made it, or they only knew that song and they didn't have any idea that I was an artist and that I had been making music for a long time and I had all these other interesting things. And so when people discover you through something like that, it's sort of a big ask. There's a lot of, you're asking them to take many steps of curiosity in terms of like really discovering you. You know, they discover the song, but they might, you know, not take those other steps, and that's okay. You know, I don't expect that from people, but yeah, it was very, very interesting. But a cool experience, and obviously introduced my music to a much wider audience. So I feel grateful for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
With the first movie, I think we discovered the power of the streaming world.
Oh,
Netflix
yeah.
as a streamer,
With Ash,
Spotify
yeah.
and Apple and all these music outlets
Totally.
as a streamer. But with everything streaming, right, the movie can
Yeah.
come out, you can listen to the song immediately, you can watch the movie again immediately. Like, there's this insatiability that gets fed, right? So you can see these results in real time too.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. And it also, you know, the demographic of that film, you know, tend to skew younger. And it was really interesting, the types of messages that I was getting from young people. I feel like it opened up its own grief in people, young people who really wanted a relationship and wanted that song to be theirs. And I got a lot of messages from young women, especially. You know, it was interesting. Most of which, like, I couldn't respond to, but it was a interesting sort of like social study on the impact of that song and the climate of the culture at the time for young people wanting and trying to find love and the difficulties there and what they were sort of up against. It was fascinating.
Interesting, because I do feel like that desire, like if you heard a song like that and were a teenager, like, and looked at a relationship like Peter and Lara Jean, like, that would be something aspirational that you would want in your life. Do you think it's not a timeless desire? Like, was there something else you were seeing that was more related to technology or?
No, I do think it's a timeless desire, but I do think that we are really lonely right now as a culture. And I feel like the time that I've spent existing online and trying to find boundaries within that, like that's one of the things that I've noticed the most. I think we're really, and COVID obviously played a role in that, but technology and social media and lack of third spaces and all sorts of things. Yeah, I think that was like the overarching sort of theme. And I even like, we were talking about a little bit before about the impacts of sort of existing under the radar, and then you have this big moment where suddenly, for a brief moment, you appear as though you are a famous person to people when you consider yourself just to be like a normal, average, not famous person. But even like the stuff that comes with exposure, illuminated loneliness in people, like beyond that specific circumstance of like young people talking to me about their desire for relationships. It would, I think loneliness and lack of human interaction has to do with a lot of like cruelty online, or people like forgetting that other people are human beings because they don't like see their faces. I don't know. I sometimes, like, when I get cruel messages or comments from people, I don't feel like anyone owes a response to anyone. Like, it's totally cool to just ignore things. But sometimes I do respond, and I'll say something like, I'm sorry you're having a bad day. Like, and I would say like 80% of the time that person will comment or message me back, like, and say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that you read your messages, your comments. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm embarrassed. Like, it's really weird.
Why'd they send it then? Also,
I know, but I think like
hurt people, right? So
totally.
They just, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And, or like they forget that there's like a human on the other end of that. And I think like our isolation and our loneliness exacerbates that. Like, of course, like, I don't think it's ever acceptable to say something cruel to anyone in any circumstance, and I'm not condoning that or giving them excuses, but it is interesting when you respond to some of those things sometimes, what people's responses are. Like,
also, like, how would they even have any? I mean, I say that and I look at the internet comments, but I'm like, what would they have to say about you? You wrote this beautiful love song, or if that's where they found you, like, what the heck?
I think like something that came from that experience that I noticed was because I had been sort of under the radar, or people's radar, for a long time, and suddenly I had a big exposure moment, that there was a response from people that like somehow I cheated, somehow I've paid for this, or like I remember they asked me, I don't know if it was Big Yellow Dog or if it was the record label, but they're like, you need to be on TikTok right now. And I didn't have a TikTok, but immediately my TikTok was verified because that song was in that movie. But that was an era of TikTok kind of in its beta stage, where the only people before that who had been verified were people who had amassed a huge audience. So I would get messages from people, who did you pay? Who did you sleep with to get this? It was a lot of that narrative, especially from men. Like, I would say it was like 99% men that somehow thought that I had circumvented some system, And I'm like, well, I've been making music since 2009.
I wish we had connected you and Ash and like Anna of the North for you all to talk to each other of like your support group, but
did you not connect with Ash, because she had a song on that?
Yes, I didn't connect with her like in a I don't want to say a personal way, but
Yeah.
I do remember we were on some sort of panel together for some sort of
Oh
event.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
she
cute.
seems like a cool person, but yeah, it was weird, and it was something that I had to navigate, and I still have to navigate to this day, obviously on a much smaller scale, because that moment didn't like continue forever. So, but yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's also like you didn't do anything, but the song is in a franchise, right?
Yeah.
Like a Netflix franchise.
Yeah.
So it's gonna get a wider audience than just
Yeah.
releasing a song on Spotify or even maybe some of these smaller shows we work on.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I was talking about earlier, it's like the majority of that audience doesn't take the steps to discover what else that you do, right? But a small percentage of them do. And it allowed me, like, people found stuff that I really cared about that maybe never really got a moment, like my Running in Borrowed Shoes project, which I had done a couple years earlier. And I was touched that it led people to discover other things, or my alter egos, or things, that were important to me. So there was a gift in there for sure.
I mean, that would have been young Lindsay and I, because that's that's ultimately how we became what we do, or this became what we do, because we found soundtracks, like we both, like mine's Trainspotting, hers is Reality Bites, but I would have gone and looked up, I mean, and this was like took way more time back in the day, but we would have like learned everybody's catalog and like everything about them, and just because there was a song on, and I wouldn't have been like, who'd they circumvent to get there? I would just be like, this is an amazing song, we love them.
Yeah, I don't think that's most people's frame of mind, but it is a pattern that I saw for sure, which is
when
interesting.
people are struggling, they're like, how come somebody else isn't struggling?
Exactly. And I mean, I don't get being cruel to a stranger, like I don't get that bit, but I do understand, like, especially if you're an artist and you're trying to figure out, like, how do I get my stuff out there, whether you're in music or everything else. It's a very isolating, frustrating, broken business.
Yeah.
And it breeds a lot of instability in people, and I have compassion for everyone who's making art and, trying to get it out there.
And I'm sure, I bet a lot of those people are frustrated artists who want their music noticed or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's
So,
hard. I mean, it is really hard.
It is
There's so
hard.
many songs out there that deserve their time in the sun. We just can't get to them all,
And I also think that a lot of people's art is extremely personal, so they view the rejection of their art as the rejection of themselves, and that is hard. So, yeah.
I mean, the internet is inundated. I mean, even we find with like social media, it's like, how do you break through the noise?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
To your project, Walking in Borrowed Shoes, which was songs written based on interviews with people.
Yeah.
Well, and then we noticed that you were in school, like you went to college for broadcast journalism.
Yeah.
So is this the merger of your two loves?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, when I went to college initially, I thought I wanted to be like a news anchor.
Yeah, that's so good. You have the look. You could totally do it.
Thank you. And I got about 2 years into college, and I realized that it really wasn't what I envisioned it to be. I thought it was going to be a combination of things that I loved, like acting and writing, right? And the writing for that type of journalism is basically the most bland writing you could ever do, like teleprompter writing. And being like a talking head sort of isn't actually particularly creative. However, I worked for the radio station in college.
Do you know who else did?
You
As
did?
a DJ, I didn't do news, but there were news people.
Oh my gosh, fun. Yeah, I didn't do news either. I had 2 radio shows. One of them was with my sister, and then a friend.
What was were you Leah, or did you have another alter ego person?
No, I was just Leah. Yeah.
Oh, now you have your 2 other alter egos.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got about halfway through my degree, and then I went to Nashville and made my first project, and I was like, oh, actually, I think I want to do this instead. But I was already so far along, and actually the track that I was on for broadcast journalism, there were so many things that I learned within that I ended up really utilizing in my music career. Like, I learned, how to edit audio. I learned how to edit video. I learned all about sound. I learned how to be interviewed and interview people. And it actually was like probably the best thing I could have chosen for what I ended up doing. Cool. But yeah, I do really like writing and I like journalism. And at the time that I decided to do that project, I also was like very interested in like outsourcing inspiration sort of, or writing from other people's perspective. So that was a huge project. It took me about 3 years to bring to fruition, but it was really rewarding. So
do you have a favorite song from it?
Yes, actually, I think it's a song that when one of y'all reached out to me about the podcast, they're like, what are some of your, you were like, what are some of your saddest songs, or something like that. And there's a song on Running in Borrowed Shoes called This Pain Will Be Useful, which is pulled from this quote from Ovid. I think of all the people that I interviewed for that song, and I used to really enjoy playing that song live. It would do this thing to a room where, like, I always had this challenge when I would play live, even when I was with a band, which is that if I was not in the right environment, I would be I don't have a loud voice. Like, my show was very like tender and intimate, and so I'd always be competing with people talking in blenders and like I don't know, it was just always so
cocktails.
Or like my voice trying to peek through the noise wall that was my band, like if I was playing with a band. And when I would play that song, the room would just go so quickly, and it just like put this sort of magical spell on the room, and it just felt really intimate and satisfying for me. So yeah, I loved that song from the record. But that was a song that like made people uncomfortable. Like, going back to what we were talking about before, I remember playing that for, I don't remember who exactly it was, either someone at my publishing company or a label person, and they could not, it made them so uncomfortable that they stopped it after like 20 minutes, and they're like, this is too sad. And it's what's interesting about that song, and I feel like about my sadder songs in general, is that I see this pattern in them, which there's almost always like an optimistic slant to them, which is interesting because I would consider myself more of a realist perhaps than an optimist. And it makes me happy because I'm like, oh, that's actually right there in my subconscious. Like, I may not notice that all the time, but it's like showing up in these sort of songs. So while that song has like this sad tinge to it, it's also really optimistic. So
I like that.
I think that's why it's my favorite. Yeah.
I know, isn't that, I had someone point out to me, and I guess I hadn't thought of that. They're like, I said something, and they're like, yeah, because you're an optimist. And I was like, am I?
Yeah.
I think I
am.
Because I'm like,
I'm thrilled that
if
you
should
see me
hear
that way.
my inner voice, because I'm like,
Same.
Yeah. So I was like,
Yeah.
really? And then I was like, oh, and I was like, how do you mean? Right. And that, but
Yeah.
that's interesting that, yeah, you're putting this out, and that's how you feel, your songs, and it's gotta, or maybe it's that you're writing it for yourself,
I think that
and you
is
need
the case
that.
a lot
we
of
all
time.
need that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I often like feel like I don't know what my songs are about sometimes till after I finish them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or there's like some sort of subconscious activity going on, like teaching me a lesson, or I don't know, comforting myself, which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, so let's get into your favorite sad songs.
Yes. Okay. This was very difficult to narrow it down. I think everyone says that on your podcast. They're like, oh, I have so
we
many.
feel that. People are like, well, what's your favorite sad song? I'm like, no. We get like 500 episodes of that.
Yeah. You're hearing them. We're picking them for this show.
Yes. I would say one of my favorite sad songs, and one of my favorite songs of all time, is The Valley by Ethan Gruska.
Oh.
I don't know it at all.
actually, Quinn is the first person who played that for me. And I think he played it the session we wrote beginning, middle, end.
No way.
And
Full
I would
circle.
just sat there just completely stunned by that song. It is
I'm writing
the
it down.
instrumental in itself. Ethan Gruska is just an outstanding musician. He's also a producer. I know he's done some things with Phoebe Bridgers, and but this was his first record, and the tone of the piano and just his musical sensibilities, like it's a very like sort of jazz tinged tune combined with his lyricism. It's so beautiful. And you said you live in the valley, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is it about the valley, like that
Yes.
valley? Oh.
Yeah, it's about that he grew up in that area, and the song is about him just reflecting on the passing of time and reflecting on his childhood and the impacts of his childhood and his adult life. And it's that record, it's called Slow Motionary, is an amazing record. So I'd say that's my number one.
Awesome.
I need
And
to sit with that more. I
then-
know we've been sent his stuff over the years, and I'm sure I've listened some, but I'll sit with it more. Yeah.
He's so good. I Can't Make You Love Me by Bonnie Raitt. I mean, come on.
The DNA of a sad song.
Yeah. I really like the song Older from Lizzie McAlpine's record. I think her record's called Older and Wiser. That song, honestly, I could not even pay attention to like 90% of the lyrics, but the way her voice sounds on that song, I just burst into tears. I don't know what it is. It's just so good. And she says something in that song where she references her parents getting older. And she's like, Mom's getting older. Like I'm wanting it back. Like I'm wanting time back.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's
that
powerful.
one, and also I think it's on Golden Hour, Mother by Casey Musgraves. It's like that song kind of has the same DNA, I feel like, as the Lizzie McAlpine song,
Yeah.
but that song always makes me cry.
Casey's voice too is just like pure.
Yeah, and I love how short that song is. Like it's just kind of peppered in there in the middle of her record, and it's so special. But yeah, I love sad music.
Awesome. Us too.
Honorary sad song queen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I call them, I don't know if I can say this on the podcast. You might have to bleep me out, but I
Nope.
call them sad bastard songs.
Yes.
I also have this thing, it's kind of an inside joke with James, my husband, where I say that I get cry-stipated, which is that I like have all this emotion in me, but I really need to let it out. So I need to like watch something sad or listen to, and
and
then
like
you
purposefully get it out.
Yeah.
you feel that like relief. You're like, okay, I
Yeah.
needed to get that out. But yeah, it's funny.
What makes you cry? What's a go-to to release your cry-stipation?
Oh gosh. Okay, so many things. I am extremely sensitive. And so I do a lot of things. I think I actually posted about this on social media. I like will apply human traits to non-human things.
I was just saying, I was like, I do this too. For like the
Yes.
little Coco or the
Yes,
Legos.
I posted about it on social media. When I see like one of those robot delivery
Well, it doesn't help that they have
those-
little eyes that blink.
those glorified ice chests like get hit by cars or get stuck in
Or the
traffic.
floods. And I know.
Wait, did you post that video? It was like a reel of
I
like
did.
Coco's
Yeah.
getting run over. Oh,
Yes.
that was rough.
I did. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't handle this. So no, that's not at the top of my list. But I told James the other day, we were at the airport, and I go, do you ever feel bad when a suitcase takes a particularly violent fall off the belt?
Right?
And he's like,
Or gets
no.
smushed.
He's like, I've never thought of that before. I was like, I do. So what really gets me if I want to cry, I like to watch soldiers' homecoming videos,
Oh my
but
God.
And their
specifically
dogs.
their dogs. Not even their I mean, the children get me, but the dogs. Yeah, soldiers coming home to their dogs.
Do you like unlikely pairings of animals that become friends?
I do.
I do too.
Like the whole what was that monkey? The monkey that got
Oh,
rejected.
Punch.
I was just so sad.
I know. So I'm like, I will fly to Japan and go take those monkeys off.
Yes, I know. So
You guys, my husband missed that whole thing. Like
And did he
last,
get
like,
it?
Punch has a girlfriend last week, right? So we finally find, oh, Punch has a girlfriend.
yes.
And my husband was like, who's Punch? And I was like, Punch the monkey? Like,
The
he
most-
totally missed the abandonment, the stuffed animal, the
bullying.
reattachment.
Yeah.
The, like, I was
Yeah.
like, all right, you're getting the like 30-second
Yeah.
version.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I mean, there are definitely some movies that make me cry. I'm trying to think of like one that I can always count on.
I do feel like the opening theme from Up.
Up in general.
It's in a commercial right now, and you just have to put that on anything, and it's like,
I know. Yes. I feel like one of the most sad movies that I have seen in the past like 10 years is a movie called Lion, and it's
Oh,
with
yes.
Oh, with
Dev Patel.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that at Toronto Film Festival, like, which is where
I-
it premiered. It was amazing.
Yes, that movie like really got me. I think I cried for like a whole day. I couldn't recover.
Have you seen Hamnet?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Lindsay and I went, and I like was trying to talk to her about it, and I just like I couldn't.
We sat there for like 5 minutes just recovering.
Yes, just stunned. Yeah. Yeah, I saw it in the theater. I think I feel freer to cry when I'm watching films like alone or at home. But yeah, Hamnet was amazing, and Jessie Buckley especially was so amazing.
I mean, and that Max Richter theme, again, that's another, I
Yes.
think you put that over, because that's a song. That's an existing
Yes,
song. but,
yeah.
like the Something of Daylight. I'm forgetting the name
Yeah,
of it.
the score.
Yeah, I'm like, Laura, we need Max Richter
Yeah,
on
we
here.
do.
That
Yes.
We
theme
do.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Putting it out there. Come on, Max.
Yeah.
Come to us. Yeah.
He likes to have feels, clearly. Or maybe we'll have to see. Some people don't want to talk about it, you know? But,
Yeah, I know. It's interesting.
yeah.
Well, this was so fun. Thanks for joining us this morning.
It was. Thank you so much for having me. And it was so nice to connect with both of you. And yeah, just to, I don't know, just to
And
chat.
Before we go, will you show everybody your little cheesecake sign behind
Yes.
you?
Yes. So this is my.
Little Cheesecake can be heard in multiple scenes in Jingle Bell Heist.
Yes. I should have gotten my little cheesecake glasses out. You know, my hair is not in the right shape
Yeah.
to be little cheesecake right now.
Yeah.
I have to let it air dry curly, and then I have to brush it. So
Interesting. Oh,
that's her
so-
look.
Yes.
You know, she's been called the long lost daughter of, is it Garth from Wayne's World?
Oh my gosh.
That's what I look
Bless.
like when I'm little cheesecake. So
Amazing.
yes.
Oh, well, maybe we'll have to have Little Cheesecake on for like a happy episode or
Yeah.
something.
Totally. She would love that.
Yeah.
So
We'll reach out to you to book her.
okay, sounds good.
So good to see you, Leah, and hopefully we
Yes,
get to
thank
see
you so much.
in person at some point.
Yes,
Always
I would
better,
love
but
that.
this is good too.
I agree. Okay, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for having me.
Bye, Leah.
You too.
Thank you for joining us today on Sad Song Queens, because you always need a good cry. We will link these songs in our show page as well as our Spotify playlist. Please also be sure to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you find podcasts. Huge thanks to Leah Nobel, our friends at Sony Music Publishing, Big Yellow Dog, Alex Stefano, and Alyssa Foster.
Special production thanks to Vince Filippone, Avery Piantadozzi, Jordan Lindsley, and our producer, May Rogers. Our theme song is All My Favorite Songs by Weezer, and our outro music is by Wyatt Rouse.